Target right, break left.
I'm going 6. I'm down on Corral. I've got contact with some snipers, over. Everybody get off the middle of this LZ. Everybody move out. Get out there.
And John, how did you get started in this process?
A year ago, I thought it was time to bring the moving wall back to Vermont. It was here about 4 years ago in Rutland, and not many people really knew that it was here, and I just felt that in the southern area that we needed to bring it back.
Okay. What is the moving wall? What's coming here to Bennington?
What's coming here to Bennington? Half-scale replica of the moving wall in Washington, D.C. It was born out of love of 3 veterans that created this. John Devon from California and 2 of his friends, they're all Vietnam combat veterans, wanted to create something that Californians couldn't get to Washington, D.C. to see. So they approached the National Memorial and asked permission if they could build. At that time, they made it a wooden memorial of the wall, and of course, since then it's been upgraded to what it is today. But it's actually a 252 feet long. It starts out with the same as the one in Washington D.C. that starts out in 1959, listing the names as they were killed in action or as close to the date, and going to 1975. It stands 6 feet tall. Of course, the one in D.C. is over 400 feet long, and its point gets to 10 feet. So it gives you a very real realization of what the National is.
Okay. Bob Maskill, you tell us a little bit about where it will be?
It'll be situated on the front lawn of the Vermont Veterans Home near the bandstand. We feel a location would be appropriate. It would be visible from the highway, as well as convenient to the parking that we have arranged for it. We think it'll be a very fitting location for the wall, since at the home we do have some Vietnam veterans as well as veterans of all other wars back to the First World War.
So is there sponsors or people sponsoring the wall? Who is paying for the wall to come here?
We have had donations from various organizations, not only military, merchants, individuals, and so far we have done very good, and I believe we'll reach our goal with no problem on that.
Okay. What audience are you trying to reach?
Well,
How far?
Well, everybody's welcome to the wall. We don't care where they come from, anywhere. I represent the VFW in Manchester, post 6471, and John came up to a meeting back in September, and he asked for a donation for a club, and I thought that was a good idea, so I volunteered to be on the committee, and it's been quite interesting, believe me, it has. It amazes me the cooperation we're getting from everybody.
Sam, you trust him?
It's my understanding the designer, John Devitt, will be joining us with, maybe joining us. So,
At this point right now, John is charged with the wall. He's coming from Bangor, Maine to Bennington, and then once it's done in Bennington, it goes to Indiana. So it will not be in New England very long. It's just going to Maine, Vermont, Norris, and then head out to Indiana. So this is an opportunity that may not come this way again.
right, it's an important point. I'd like to ask again, open discussion, but it's my understanding the wall was in Albany about 5 years ago, and in Rutland a couple of years ago. This is really it for this part of the world, Western Mass, Eastern New York.
4 years ago now.
4 years
September
ago.
of '91.
Okay, so and who knows when it may be back. So why is the memorial important to you? Why is it important that you volunteered to be on this committee? And you've probably been asked this question before, John. I'll start with you.
Well, my aspect is when my kids were growing up, I always promised them that I would take them to Washington, D.C. And it seemed like every year one of us was sick or we just didn't have the funds, and I just never got there. And then when I heard it was in Rutland, it took me the 14th day to get there. because I just had to work up some nerve to go up and see it, and I just want to be able to now show everyone that.
John, how many times do you think you've set up the wall?
This looks like the first.
Haven't been asked that.
So maybe 400? I don't know.
400? Everyone different?
Yeah, every one. This is the most different.
Well, hi,
Is it really? No.
However you want it.
That's dead center right there. You want me to plumb that for you?
Bob, why is it important to you?
Well, as a Vietnam veteran, I had friends I lost in Vietnam, but over and above that, I had an opportunity a few years ago to give a slide presentation at Mount Anthony High School, and had quite a bit of interest amongst the students, and spoke with another group of students at a school for Memorial Day. And I think just the fact that the wall is here brings respect not only for the Vietnam veterans who died in Vietnam, but all the veterans who served their country and died in all the wars, to give us what we have now, a free country and a free world.
Bob, how about you?
I went to school and was served in service over there with some guys that didn't come back. One of them's an MIA now. And my primary reason, though, is I think that it's to educate the school kids. It's the negative side of the war. I mean, I grew up after World War II, and I heard about how great World War II was, but I never got the negative side. Now, if you're in school and you can go see 59,000 names on a wall, and these guys are all dead and they fought for you, maybe 2 or 3 that see this will be able to be in a position someday where they can stop the war so that it will never happen again.
Good. Bill, how about you?
Well, I always felt that veterans of a war are a particular brotherhood, and as you would honor any brother, you would go to his grave and try to pay your respects. And as most any other member of this board, this committee, I have a very good friend on that wall, a guy I went to high school with, and I never got to say goodbye to him then, and maybe this will be my chance to say goodbye to him now.
Thanks. Val?
I'm inclined to go along with what Bob Whitman said. It's going to be history for school kids, and it's an honor to be able to represent and show your respects to the names on the wall. Being a World War II Korea veteran, it was especially appreciated by me to be asked to be on the board and to represent the American Legion or the veterans, and our motto is Veterans Helping Veterans. So I believe that's it's quite an honor to be on the committee.
Going the other way now, Russ?
Yeah.
No, we're not.
Yeah.
You got that, David? You get that?
Yeah, dude, really click it down there. Give it some
Little snap back.
give it some snap.
Little wrist action.
Yeah.
How wide is he, Ken? John, how long?
Hold on, man. Panels.
Okay.
Yeah, he said that somebody donated that too, so it really fell right into place. That guy we had so much stuff.
I think those shrubs that Yogi has will work out.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I told him, like, you know, we put the pathway, and then put the shrubs to the outside, on that end, and on that end,
No interference.
but nothing in the middle.
Maybe
That's
in
where
the
the
center
reason
here.
goes. Yeah.
Maybe in the center here, you just want to,
Hit us back, we're okay, right? Work out all right, buddy?
Holy fine.
Wants to talk to you, and I'd like to also say at this time, you know, you guys have done a hell of a job today. I don't really want to say any more. We'll let John explain a couple things to you, how we're going to work this, and then we'll get on.
Yeah, thanks for all this work out here. I know this is extra, but it's going to look good when it's made. It looks good right now. When we take the panels out, they're just going to come out in order like this, and this is the east side. And we start from the center, and we'll go in that direction. And the panel's too heavy. Have two people carry it. It's no big deal. And there'll be a couple of guys on the backside bolting, a couple pounding the stakes in for the braces, and it's going to go pretty fast, I think, because we got a good base all the time. But, you know, just take our time, and we're going to need the panels wiped down as they come out of the cases. You know, so, but we just take our time and do it right. Some of them, yeah, we can use it. Yeah.
pull them out here and let a couple people, a couple panels be out for wiping?
Yeah, like most of them are pretty clean. You can wipe them down. If there's some that are real dirty, let me know and I'll get the cleaner. You know, some will need touch up. I'll do that after. That's all we have to do.
We'll move it out of the way. Sure. It's more panels and wipe.
That one. Here's one for you. Here's only one more. You got one?
Okay. John Minor.
I was just writing down.
John Minor. Oh, John Minor. Somebody talking to John. Okay. Ready?
Sandy came, few folks even knew his name. But a hero, yes, was he. Left a boy, came back a man from Vietnam. Still many just don't understand about the reasons we are free. Can't forget the look in his eyes, all of the tears he cried, as he said these words to me. All gave some, and some gave all, and some stood true for the red, white, and blue. Lord, some had to fall, some had to fall. Should you ever think of me, Lord, think of all your liberties and recall. Don't forget them now. The ones who gave all. Read the names on that wall. Some had to fall. They had to fall. Sandy King's no longer here, but his words are oh so clear. As they echo throughout our land. All his friends who gave us all, who stood the ground and took that fall, just to help their fellow man. Love your country and live with pride, and Lord, don't forget those who died. Hey, America, can't you see? All gave some, and some gave all, and some stood true for the red, white, and blue. Some had to fall, they had to fall. If you ever think of me, then think of all your liberties and recall. The ones who gave all. Read the names on that wall. 58,196 names. They had to fall. If you ever think of me, or think of all your liberties and recall, don't forget it. The ones who gave all, they had to fall. I don't know. Read the names on that big black wall. They had to fall. God bless you, brothers. I love you.
Let's move up here.
just wondering, because I see, 5 lanes across.
Well, they start at the center panel, and there's 58,000 plus names on the wall. And they start from 59 and go out, and then start and go the other way. And they're all chronological from the time.
Oh, yeah.
So I just have it out of line until we dust it.
Okay. I want to get these off. This side.
There, stop, boys.
All the unsung heroes, faithful as the wind blows,
Okay, ready to cut. Everybody's wanting that sucker back up.
I ask you to hold your applause until I'm finished.
Allison, you're on.
I'm here with Gerald and Josie Colvin, residents of Bennington. Their son, Gerald, was a casualty of Vietnam. His name is on the wall. He's the only Bennington resident whose name appears on the wall. As you can see from their caps, they're Gold Star parents of the VFW, which means they've lost a son or daughter in the armed services, which is an honor and a distinction, and they've been very involved with the VFW. And so I just want to ask them a little bit about the day. Why don't I start with you, Mrs. Colvin? What's it like to be here? What is the wall? What's your feeling when you see the wall?
Well, I feel it's great that they brought it to Bennington, because I've never been to Washington to see that wall. So it was hard to get here, but I'm here.
How about Mr. Colvin? Gerald is his namesake, his eldest son. Why don't we ask him what's the significance of this day?
Well, I think it's a great honor that they brought it here, and it means a lot to us. All those names and the ones that are missing, and you never forget them.
Great. Isn't that really part of it? That this is sort of how Gerald and his comrades live on, and so we remember the sacrifice of all these men and those who come back who are still suffering. Is there anything that you particularly want to say, that you want to say to the people of Bennington, that you want to say to the people who are watching, maybe who haven't come down here, something that you'd like them to know, or something that you'd want them to hear from you?
I'd like to thank all the people that came today down here, and know that their hearts is with our hearts.
How about you, Mr. Colvin?
Well, I'd like to thank all the people that worked hard to get that here. I mean, all the clubs, they've done a wonderful job. Yeah.
All right, great. Thanks a lot.
Very much. Big day, important day. Okay, thank you.
I'm here with Bruce Niles. First, I think the viewers would like to know when you served and where you served in Vietnam, what branch of service.
U.S. Army, helicopter pilot, 68, 69 Bearcat, Vietnam, just not too far from Long Binh. Second tour, 71, 72, served with the 120th Aviation Company out of Long Binh.
What's the significance of this day, or what does this day mean to you or to Bennington or to the community?
This is an educational vehicle for people who don't know what happened 28 years ago and whether they agreed with what we did over there or don't agree, people still lay down their lives for it. It's a fitting tribute, and I hope that people understand the significance of it.
What would you wish for Bennington when, as the 2 weeks evolve, as the 2 weeks develop? What's your wish for the community, or for veterans, or for anyone?
That's a tough question. I don't know. I get hit all the time with, well, how could you go over there? Or how could you do what you did in Vietnam? And you understand that as a career military person or any other military person, you do what you're told. And I hope that Bennington comes away from this thing with the idea that we are still a united country, and we still need to show our colors. We still need to be patriotic, and we still need to respect the flag. And I hope if people can get a taste of that from what happens for here today in the next 2 weeks, I'll feel good.
We don't want to have a
I'm on my way.
Nice meeting you.
Thank you.
You too.
Hey, remember Bill?
Yep.
Keep it simple.
I'm here with Russ Johnson of Putney, I think Putney, Brattleboro area.
Yes, ma'am.
And he is the leader of the Black Rose Band, who will be playing the national anthem for us today at the opening ceremonies of the Moving Wall. He's also a veteran. First, why don't you tell our viewers when you served and where you served?
I was in Vietnam from 1964 to 65. I served with the 5th Marines in Da Nang. My job was training ARVNs.
And why don't you tell us what's the significance of this day? What does this day mean to Bennington? You said, when we talked earlier, you said some great things. I'm not sure if you remember them, but do they apply today?
They definitely apply today. Just being here at this wall and helping putting it together and touching these panels. To me, it was a healing process when I first seen it in Washington, D.C. And, you know, this is just a miniature version, but, you know, that magic is still there. I mean, you put your hands on that wall, and it's like you can feel 58,000 people coming right back at you saying, you know, you're home, you know, live for us, you know, because we didn't have the chance to come back, you know. You guys have got to make it better for yourselves, you know. It's a healing process.
This is to give you an example of what these guys are like. You call Russ's number and you get his answering machine. He says, leave a message after the beep. And then he says, don't forget our POWs that are missing in action. That's his message on his answering machine. That sort of typifies you guys. You're like a fraternity that's you couldn't ever describe. He was just talking to a man who introduced himself, and you said to him, "Welcome home." I mean, tell people a little bit about that.
Well, we need to heal ourselves. I mean, the government has forgotten us. I mean, right from when guys started coming back from Vietnam, I mean, we were just thrown out into the streets, and you know, and we made it the best we could. And a lot of what was going on, there was no debriefing, so a lot of what was happening inside us when we came home remained inside us for over 30 years. And it takes quite a bit of healing within yourself after 30 years when these things have been festering and boiling over for so long. And to see other Vietnam veterans and here at this wall, it just brings back that camaraderie that we never got when we came home, you know. So the camaraderie between us, the Vietnam veterans and other veterans, it's just there.
You're gonna have to get me later.
You know, and that's about all I can say on that deal. It's a hard one to.
It's hard to describe. I'm sure to watch it is really interesting to see you embrace these men, some of whom you've never met, but who you know you have this thing in common.
Most definitely, Vietnam. We went over there, and the pain, the suffering, for 30 years, that we all have that in common. And what we've seen over there, that's what we all have in common.
You get too low.
My man right here. I'm speaking here with Ralph Brown, who was another member of the executive committee that helped bring the moving wall here to Bennington. He is a unique member of the committee as a veteran of Korea and World War II, not Vietnam, and he represented the American Legion Post 13 here in Bennington. And so we just wanted to ask you a little bit about this day here, is this great day. You're a veteran of other wars. Why is it that you became involved, that you volunteered for the executive committee to become, to help bring the moving wall to Bennington?
Well, mainly to represent American Legions throughout the state of Vermont. And veterans are veterans regardless of what war they're in. And I do believe in veterans, and I believe in helping veterans. And I think it's a, it's an honor and a privilege to have been picked to be on this, being the only one that is not a Korean veteran, or I mean a Vietnam veteran.
What John Miner had said at a volunteers meeting, that for so long it had been a dream, and now it's here and it's a reality. So how does it feel? How does it feel to have it here?
It's right now it's very exciting and glad to be here.
Will you please rise and turn as our colors are being brought out? Thank you.
Let us pray. O Lord God, you have been our fortress and our strength throughout all generations. You have been with us to bless us with your love and your mercy and your strength. Lord, as we gather here this afternoon to open our Vietnam moving wall, we pray for your peace and your strength and love to be among us. For this wall symbolizes those men and women who have given their life for their country and for peace. We pray that this wall may always stand as a tribute to honor their name and their memory, and also to remind us through all generations that we need to be a nation of peace and hope and strength for all people. Lord, be with us and bless us. In your name we pray. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would ask you now to face the color guards and join with the Black Rose Band, a major sponsor and fundraiser for this ceremony, as they play and sing our national anthem.
Oh, by the dawn's early light, was so proudly we held at the twilight that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. To you, my brothers.
I'd like to introduce our first guest speaker. Bringing the moving wall to Bennington was a dream of John Miner, who after visiting it in Rutland 3 years ago and feeling its power and experienced the emotions that surround you when you find the first name of one of your comrades out of the more than 58,000 names on Memorial, knew that he wanted more people to feel its power. I only met John a few months ago after I returned from Germany and learned about his efforts to bring the wall here. I remember thinking after our first meeting that if he pulls this off, he is a Superman. Ladies and gentlemen, you can see by looking around you and knowing about the activities planned for the next 2 weeks, not only did he pull it off, he did it with class, dignity, and a modesty in the role he played in organizing the many volunteers working with him in this event. Like many of the Vietnam veterans I have known, John doesn't talk much about his Vietnam experience. He'll let you know that he spent 2 tours there, volunteering for both, and that he did it because it was the right thing to do. You hear the emotion in his voice when he talks about the comradeship he shared with those he served with. And yesterday, as I walked around these grounds, I saw him physically and emotionally moved by the same comradeship displayed by veterans of World War II, Korea, Vietnam, and the many volunteers who worked around the clock these past few days to be ready for this opening ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor now to introduce to you the chairman of the Bennington County Moving Wall Committee, Mr. John Miner.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. But please, save your applause, okay? I appreciate it, but please, save your applause. Our true heroes are yet to come before you. So please, thank you. At this time, I would like to introduce some of the people that made it possible. It does not take one person, it takes many. I was just a small part of it. I would like to introduce to you my executive committee today. My first vice chairman, Bill Canavan, who is really my intelligence officer, as we call him, my right-hand man, and my gopher. And without his assistance, many things that I initiate will not get followed through on. So please, ladies and gentlemen, after I introduce them all, please give them a hand. My second vice chairman is a colonel in the Vermont National Guard, a Vietnam veteran, president of the Board of Trustees, Colonel Robert Maskeel. My treasurer, my fellow brother, Mike Lamondoa, a Vietnam veteran CB, and just a perfect person. The next gentleman representing the Manchester VFW as one of our main leading sponsors, as other ones will have been. Robert Whitman, past commander of the VFW, a Vietnam veteran, and another brother. Representing the VFW here in Bennington, 1332, another U.S. Marine brother, Mark Bullhard. And for us as veterans, there's a special gentleman on our board, that we truly honor. He is a World War II veteran, a Korean veteran, and a true brother, and the commander of American Legion Post 13 at this time, Mr. Ralph Brown. These are the gentlemen that really did the work. As I stand here today, I have been asked many times, what will you say? My story is simple. 14 months ago, I had a goal. I looked forward, and in that time, I realized November 11th, 1993, I was privileged and honored to be at the 75th awarding of our veterans here at the Vermont Veterans Home, which numbered 12 World War I veterans. And I watched Governor Dean and General Edwards give them an award, a very high honor of 75 years of being veterans. Again this summer you witnessed June 6, 1944, another anniversary of our veterans. That anniversary again brought back thoughts. How do I make my presentation? For this is truly not an anniversary. This is truly a time of remembrance, a time of caring, for understanding. And it is also an honor of sacrifice of our true brothers and sisters who have been our unsung heroes, And it is also a time that we can come forth as brothers and say our goodbyes or say our so longs for now. We will meet again. But is it a time for healing? And as I see before me today, there can be no more brothers or sisters truly healing than what has already started yesterday and will continue for the next 2 weeks. It has been the most special time of my life. And I thank all of the people that have made it possible. And truly, to my brothers and sisters who are here today and who have brought home, and least we not forget, we are not all home yet, before there is still 1,300 unaccounted for in our battle, and there's many veterans before us who are unaccounted for. And our voices must never be still until we bring them all home, of all eras, of all wars, and of all conflicts. So today I say to all my brothers and sisters, welcome home. And to my brothers yet to come, we will bring you home. God bless all of you, and thank all of you.
First group I'd like to introduce for the wreath-laying ceremony is for all the veterans of foreign wars. The wreath will be laid by Mr. Ralph Bud Bennett, Commander of Veterans of Foreign Wars Post 1332 in Bennington, and Mr. Ralph Elwell, State Commander, State of Vermont. Our second group, for the American Legion, Mr. Ralph Brown, Commander, American Legion Post 13 in Bennington, and Mr. Alan Grazzini, State Commander of the State of Vermont. Our next group will present a wreath for the disabled veterans, American veterans. It'll be presented by Mr. Bob Reynolds, Chapter President of DAV of Bennington, and Mr. Sal San Arcangelo, a member of DAV of Bennington Board of Selectors. Our fourth and final group for the Vietnam Veterans of America. The wreath will be laid by Mr. Fred Kellum, Board of Directors of the Vietnam Veterans of America, Chapter 601, Bennington, and Mr. Michael Ramadola, Vice President, Vietnam Veterans of America, Chapter 601, Bennington. Ladies and gentlemen, will you please rise as the wreaths are being presented?
Ladies and gentlemen, a very important part of any memorial service honoring our veterans is the rifle, bayonet, and helmet ceremony. At this time, Mrs. Linda Schwartz, the Director of Vietnam Veterans of America Region 1, and Mr. John Miner, President of Vietnam Veterans of America Chapter 601, will partake in the rifle, bayonet, and helmet ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, you please render the proper courtesy for 21 gun salute and playing at taps to honor our fallen comrades. Firing squad. Ready. Aim. Fire. The last group of folks I would like to stand to be recognized are the Gold Star parents. We have a significant ceremony planned next Sunday for them, so would you please all rise now so we can honor the sacrifices that you made. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Our first guest speaker is Miss Linda Schwartz. She is Region 1 Director of the VVA. She served in Vietnam as an Air Force nurse in 1968 to 1970. Currently, she is a PhD candidate at Yale University. Ladies and gentlemen, will you please join me in welcoming our first speaker, Ms. Schwartz.
I want to say that on a day like this, with so much emotion, it's very hard to be so composed to give you a speech or an address. But let me say what a great honor it is for me to be here and to have the opportunity to share with you some of the thoughts I have when I come to the wall. I took my daughter to the Lincoln Memorial because I wanted her to experience the solemn face of Lincoln and to begin to learn what it means to be an American. And I saw across a little knoll a gathering of flags, and it caught my attention and my curiosity. And so I walked across the knoll, and for the first time I saw that wall. It really took my breath away. But as I said to you, it called to me to come closer, because I had read about this idea of putting everyone who had passed away's name on a wall. And as I walked, I saw my reflection and I saw my daughter. And I would like to share with you a poem that I wrote about that occasion. And I hope when you view this wall, you will think some of these thoughts might stir you so that you will have an added meaning to it. Rows and rows of neatly engraved names strung across slabs of black granite. Names that once meant husbands, daughters, sons, and lovers. Silent testament to the cost of the Vietnam War. I have walked at Gettysburg, Normandy, and Verdun. Here I am not with history, but with my own memories. Though your names have left me, your spirit never will. Yes, I remember you. Young in the time of my youth, believing in the time of my faith, trusting in the time of my innocence, never to see the world the same. The image of this black granite casts my face across your names. I am older now, but you have never aged. Always young, always proud, America's best. Holding my hand is a daughter I never imagined then. Our image is a curious conversion of the future on the past. Her generation is now America's shining hope, endowed by our sacrifices and the sober reality of what it means to have a war. Once we were children too, growing up under the American dream, shocked by the streets of Dallas, wounded at Kent State, and set adrift in the Gulf of Tonkin. No one braced us for shadow men without their arms and legs. No one showed us how to celebrate a war we hadn't won. No one told us about the taint of Agent Orange and how it would seep to our unborn. And no one warned us about an empty world coming home. The hard lessons of that war are etched in our hearts, just as deeply as your names are etched in this wall. For we know, but for the hand of God, our name would be here with yours. That spirit, the spirit which is here, the moment, the spirit of America, and the remembrance that we who have had the opportunity to serve know that duty, honor, country, freedom are not mere words, but they are the legacy written in the blood and sacrifices of those who have served this nation. I want to thank you for having me, for allowing me to share my thoughts with you. Because every now and then it is important for me to also touch those feelings, those memories, and that resolve. Thank you very much.
We have the honor to have as our final speaker, our keynote speaker, our Lieutenant Governor, Ms. Barbara Snelling.
Thank you, Colonel. To all who are here today, to those who remember, to the veterans who fought, to the families who lived in fear and anxiety, to the families who still feel the pain of loss, and for those who do not remember but want to understand, and to those who worked with John Minor to bring the moving wall to Vermont. This is a precious moment, and I am honored to be allowed to share this moment with you. As we stand before this beautiful replica of a powerful monument, each of us brings with us a different set of emotions and memories, and a different way that our lives, our very being, was affected by the Vietnam War. Despite the fact that only a relative few fought in those battles, a world away, there were few in this country whose lives escaped being touched by our nation's deep division, our crisis of identity and belief, our indecisiveness about our principles and our mission. As a nation, we want to believe that our tradition, our heritage, and our future is defending the oppressed, the vulnerable, those who have right on their side. We want to believe that our nation stands above all for peace and freedom and justice. Yet, we did not have a country that was united behind this fight. We sent brave young men and women into the horrors of battle without the strong support needed to defend themselves, without the support to end the war. And at home, the protesters did what they knew would hurt the most. They attacked the American flag, the symbol of all the beliefs that our soldiers carried in their hearts as the reason why they were fighting and why they were willing to sacrifice their lives. There was anger and bitterness among the fighting forces. There was pain and feelings of guilt at home in those who wanted our nation to be supportive and who felt helpless against the protesters and against the media. And then there was the unheralded, unrecognized return of the Vietnam veterans and the long wait for a memorial for those who gave their lives and a tribute to those who returned. It is easy to understand why there are veterans who still have so much unresolved conflict and emotion that they cannot bring themselves to visit the memorial. And it is understandable that so many Americans are moved to tears because this monument evokes such strong emotions and memories. I have a personal connection in a son-in-law who is fiercely proud of his service in Vietnam, who still wakes up in a cold sweat of memories and who still cannot visit the wall. This monument is probably the most powerful ever in carrying its message, in allowing a release of pain. It should also help us remember that our Vietnam veterans fought in battles that helped turn the tide against the domination of communist dictators and helped bring about the fall, eventually, of the Berlin Wall and the end of the long Cold War. Of even greatest importance must be that this nation must live by its principles, its ideals, and must always stand for peace, for freedom, and justice in this world, even under fire, and that our flag as the symbol of our ideals deserves to be defended and protected. In reverence and recognition of courage and idealism, we shed tears at this memorial and pray for healing. There were over 5,000 Vermonters who were involved in the Vietnam War, and over 100 whose names are inscribed on the wall. In reverence and recognition of courage and idealism, we must resolve to continue the commitment to freedom and justice and peace throughout the world, with our flag held high as the symbol of our ideals.
Thank you, Mr. Stein. And as they're walking forward, I'd ask Reverend Varga to please come forward to our closing prayer. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise.
Let us pray. Lord, we come to the end of the ceremony, but we do not come to the end of memories and hopes and dreams of our nation. We thank you, O Lord, for giving the power and the strength to the committee that brought this moving wall to us and touch our hearts and our lives with its significance. We thank you for their dedication and for their service. But most of all, Lord, we thank you for the men and women who have given their lives and whose names we read on this wall. May you bless them in eternity. May you keep them in the palms of your hand and watch over them with your glory and with your love. Lord, also be with us as a nation, that as we see our reflection in that wall, we may carry that reflection of hope and unity and healing, not only in this generation, but in the generations to come. Lord, by your grace, be with us and bless us now and always. In your name we pray. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, this completes the formal part of the opening ceremony. I would like to remind you, however, the wall will be here for 14 days, and there are many other activities sponsored by different organizations taking place during that period. I ask you to tell a friend about it, ask them to visit it, and last but not least, I want to thank you all for spending a few minutes with us today as we honor our fallen comrades in Vietnam. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Around the corridor. Guy in the
By that time, good.
Okay. The other book left. Okay.
Good, good.
Huh?
Yeah, okay.
By next week, you'll have the city fighting soldiers from the sky. Fearless men who jump and die. Men who mean just what they say. The brave men of the Green Beret. Leaving her his last request. Put silver wings on my son's chest. Make him one of America's best. 100 men will test the day, but only 3 on the Green Beret. But only 3 big green tell they come from New Hampshire.
Born down in the dead man's town. First kick I took when I hit the ground. And the black and talk doesn't speak too much. You spend every life that's just a cover enough. I was born in the USA. Born in the USA. I was born in the USA. Born in the USA. Got in a little hometown jam. Put a rifle in my hand. Sent me off to Vietnam to go and kill the yellow man. I was born in the USA. Born in the USA. I was born in the USA. Born in the USA. Came back home to the refinery. Iron Man said, son, who's up to me? Went down to see my Vietnam. He said, son, you just don't understand. I was born in the USA. Born in the USA. I was born in the USA. Born in the USA. Had a brother at his son, fighting off the Vietnam. They're so bad, but he's all gone.
I never cared for politics, speeches I don't understand. And I never took no charity from any living man. But tonight there's 50,000 gone in that unhappy land. And 50,000 hearts and souls being played with just one hand. Oh, my name is Benny Evans, and I've just turned 21.
There ain't no one to save with the world in its grave. Take a look around you, boy. It's bound to scare you, boy. And won't you tell me over and over and over again, my friend? Well, you don't believe we're on the eve of destruction. If tomorrow the things were gone that I worked for all my life, and I had to start again, off from the lakes of Minnesota, oh, to those hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, well, from Detroit down to Houston, from New York to LA, there's pride in every American's heart. And we stand and say that I'm proud to be an American. At least I know I'm free. I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. I'd gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. There ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. Tomorrow, all the things were gone that you worked for all your life, and you had to start again. with just your children and your wife. Well, I thank my lucky stars for living here today, 'cause that flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, at least I know I'm free. I won't forget the names on that wall who died for you and me. I gladly stand up next to you and defend us still today. For there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the
St. Paul, Minnesota. Johnson, Russell Lee, Sergeant, Army, 3 March 69, Dixie, Georgia. Johnson, Samuel Arnold, Specialist Corps, 23 July 67, Cleves, Ohio. Johnson, Samuel Jr., Private First Class, Army, 26 October 68, Pennington Gap, Virginia. Johnson, Sanford Lee, Sergeant, Army, 13 July 70, Hollywood, Florida. Johnson, Sanford Stevens, Corporal, Army, 2 October 67, Tuskegee Institute, Alabama. Johnson, Stanton, Specialist Corps, Army, 25 February 68, Cincinnati, Ohio. Johnson, Daniel Garwood, First Lieutenant, Marine Corps, 3 December 65, Applegate, California. Johnson, Stephen Ayers, ATM 380, 15 September 69, I don't know.
That's the thing with me. I have to go downtown. I usually don't do that. Or I eat lunch at Rebellion Deli. I like that.
Johnson, William Henry, Corporal, Marine Corps, 17 April 66, Ann Arbor, California. Johnson, William, Corporal, Junior, Lance Corporal, Marine Corps, Ralph June, 67, Bessemer, Alabama. Johnson, William James, Special Corps, Army, 21 October 67. Johnson, William Cash, Corporal, Marine Corps, 1 April 66, Fort Florida. Johnson, Thomas Special Corps, Army, January 71, Atlantic City. Johnson, William Wayne, Sergeant, Army, 4 May 68, Bucknell, Utah. Johnson, Willis, First Sergeant, Army, 5 May 70, Ohio, South Carolina. Johnson, Willis C. Jr., Sergeant. these people from?
These are from all over Vermont. These are the Northeast POWMIA Network.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jim Howley. I'm the Secretary-Treasurer of the Northeast POWMIA Network. Before we present our program, I'd like to do something very special for a very special person that made this wall be here today. John Miner, would you step up? There was a lot of people that worked on this wall, but there's one person whose drive and determination brought this here today. John, I'd like to present you with the United States Mint Vietnam Veterans National Medal.
Thank you, Joe.
You can if you want.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. In truth, the biggest reason I brought this here is for all of you. And when I put the word out, it was coming, you came. And to me, and to all of us veterans, that's the most thing we needed to see. We needed to see the community and the country come together and be brothers and sisters again as we were before. And on behalf of my group that helped me get it here, I will accept this. Thank you.
Colonel Donald Gilbert Cook, United States Marine Corps, Brooklyn, New York. Colonel Cook was an advisor assigned to the South Vietnamese Marines on a mission to recover the remains of an American helicopter crew shot down in South Vietnam. On December 31st, 1964, while engaged in recovery operations, Colonel Cook and his Vietnamese counterparts were ambushed by Viet Cong soldiers. Colonel Cook was wounded in the leg and taken prisoner. Colonel Cook immediately assumed command of his fellow American POWs and helped shoulder their work burdens during his captivity, often giving more seriously ill men his meager ration of medicine. Colonel Cook chose to adhere to a code of conduct far above what was expected of him and knowingly brought harsher punishment upon himself. Colonel Cook refused to cooperate with his captors even though he knew it lessened his chances of survival. The Viet Cong said Colonel Cook died of malaria on December 8, 1967. He was never repatriated. Based on the testimony of Colonel Cook's fellow prisoners who returned, he was awarded the Medal of Honor. And that Medal of Honor is in the first tent right over here. And you'll be able to see that and read the citation that goes with it. He is the son of Medal of Honor, prisoner of war, Colonel Donald G. Cook. Would you please welcome the President of the Northeast POWMIA Network, Mr. W. Thomas Cook.
Thank you. My father was in Okinawa. He volunteered to go to Vietnam. He wrote a letter home, never intentionally mailed it. He put it in his briefcase and stuck it away. The letter is dated November 27, 1964, 1 month before he was captured. And in 1980, going through some of his stuff, just before he received the Medal of Honor, we came across this letter.
Can't hear you, Tom.
In 1980, when we received the Medal of Honor, going through his stuff, we found a letter. And for the time, almost 16 years later, it was appropriate. If you allow me to read this letter he wrote to us. My dear children, you are also young. Perhaps these words won't mean very much to you. I do hope that in time to come, they may provide value to you, for I write them from the bottom of my heart. You will learn of my love from your mother and in hopes that you too will live God and share in our love. At times, although I wonder if I have done a disservice to you, bringing you into a world where there is so much strife and hate. A world where man has forgotten the love of men. We, the United States, mine and yours, ancestors have built a life that we cherish and hope someday all mankind come to know. The sum and total of my life to date is not one of great wealth or wisdom. The United States Marine. It's a life that has not paid material benefits to your wonderful mother or to you. For this, I humbly apologize. But yet it is a life that must be led, a life that has brought me to you. But more important, it is a life that I have chosen, and perhaps in some small way, your children to come may never know the bearing of arms. Above all else, love God, love your country. If I know nothing else, coupled with the love, excuse me, coupled with the love of your mother has helped me in my conviction that some small part I may help. The war that the wars that are presently being fought are said to be small ones, but they're only small ones in comparative to the distance you are away from them. I fight for freedom and happiness. Life goes on. But I wonder, be so honorable. I'm sorry, I can't read this.
Life goes on, but I would be so honored that in the course of your lives you will think of me. I fear that I have very poorly transcribed my thoughts, but I do hope that in which I believe will also lead you to the truth. I love you, my darlings, more than I can tell. Be happy and pray for me. I will always pray for you, your loving father.
Sometimes a brave man will give his life to save a friend, but sometimes he must use even more courage to live, to fight on, to find a better life.
Thank you, John.
One more.
Casey, South Carolina. Kelly, Brian Richard, PFC, Marine Corps, South Boston, Massachusetts. Kelly, Carl Eugene Jr., Lance Corporal, Marine Corps, Nashville, Tennessee. Kelly, Corporal, Army, Northwest New York. Kelly, Gregory Hall, Lance Corporal, Marine Corps. Kelly, Gregory Richard, South Florida, Northeast Pennsylvania. Kelly, Gary Allen, PFC, Huntersville, North Carolina. Kelly, James Jr.
Yeah.
Kelly,
How far?
Pearl, Pennsylvania. Kelly,
I don't mind. Oh, 5 minutes. He wants it. 5 minutes.
Cutler, Indiana. Kelly, Joe Dustin, Sergeant. Listen up, okay? When we say light the candles, each person on each end will light his candle. And they will turn and light the next person's, and we'll do it that way. Okay? We're going to have the cameraman will follow you around so the candles will all be lit. Once you get the candles lit, don't move them. Because what happens is you leave a streak in the film, okay? In a few minutes, we're going to shut off the lights, and then we'll start.
I am alive. Please come for me soon. I am alive. You can't leave me here.
Good. And for heaven's sakes, our youth is the most precious commodity that we could ever imagine. It's time for us to come together and make it very clear to those who govern this country that we won't stand for it. I want more than anything in the world to live long enough to see my brothers and sisters who have survived come home from Vietnam. I want to see my brothers and sisters who served from any conflict come home alive. If that's not possible, I want an explanation. I want the remains returned. I want to see moms and dads and families finally able to know that their loved ones can't be hurt again. Just importantly to me, and I know to everyone here, are our children and their children. We have a tremendous responsibility to be certain that those who serve this great country in the future will not be abandoned in that effort. If you don't remember anything at all, look around you. When you go home tonight, look into the eyes of your children and ask yourself, are these going to be, could they be, the next prisoner of war? If you can put it in that context, so that it's not my buddy, it's not somebody 25 years ago, it's not somebody who we feel tremendous emotion for and we have tremendous empathy for their families. It's my son or my daughter. Then the reality is unescapable, and you know as well as I that leaving them in any circumstance when we should be there to bring them home is unacceptable.
America.
Volunteers, please kill the lights. Everyone, hold your candles up to our brothers who are still POWs and MIAs. Keep singing. God bless America. Everyone. Landed out of the prairie
To the oceans, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
God bless you all. Thank you. Bring them home. Lights on, please. Volunteers.
Thank you for coming, everyone.
Thank you for being here, Bill.
I'm not going to sing it. I'm not going to sing I'm done.
Run down. Bring it home.
Red ones while I was there, and no one got me on the records.
Oh no, this is last. Yeah, Garnett's last. No?
Garnett? Moved by Ike.
What mission you're on, why you got to do
Hi, we're with Corky Condon, who is with us today with the Friends of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Wall, and she's the director of the In Touch program. Corky?
Well, the Friends of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial sort of came about because we saw that the wall was the beginning of the healing process, but there was a continuing need for many people for more. So we have several programs. We provide name rubbings to those that can't come to the wall in Washington to rub a name off the wall. We have a program in memory which honors civilians and those veterans who returned home only to die as a result of their service. But the In Touch program is designed to help put the family, friends, and fellow veterans of those killed or missing in Vietnam in touch with each other. A lot of times veterans made promises to families that, or to their buddies to contact the families when they came back home. Sometimes they have photographs that they'd like to get to the families. For the families, it really helps. Sometimes they have questions that can be answered by veterans. It helps to know that their loved one is still remembered. For a lot of the brothers and sisters and the sons and daughters, they have little or no memory of their loved one. And to be able to find out from somebody that was the friend and the comrade what life was like and what their loved one was like, it's been a real rewarding experience. And we try and facilitate these matches in a lot of different ways. Our presence here at this moving wall can do several things. First of all, it lets people know about all of the programs. Secondly, we network by posting the names of those veterans that were killed whose family and friends have registered with the program with the hopes that somebody will look at the list and recognize the names. And we've already been able to make some matches for some families while we've been here today. And in addition, we have the computer database that we have has the Department of Defense information in it, and we've developed searches based on different criterion because a lot of the veterans don't remember the names of their comrades. So
Right. I was here yesterday, and you had a gentleman come up who only sort of remembered the unit and the province they were in, and you were able to find that person.
yes, and it's been really rewarding. As hard as it is sometimes to find the names, it allows the veteran to let go of some of the guilt at not being able to remember the name, and they can start, they can go visit their friend at the wall, and they have that connection there. And it also is the beginning of the healing process.
And you brought the computer with you. We got a shot of the table, whatever, but a handy little portable computer. Now, do you travel with the Moving Wall?
I go to several in the year. I don't travel with it. We're a very small nonprofit. We only have 2 full-time staff, so I can't be out of the office that much. There's a lot of administrative detail, but we have some corporate sponsorship, and then different communities request our presence, and I will go to about a dozen this year, I believe, all over the country.
May I ask, what is your motivation to be involved?
Well, for me, personally, it's really important to give back to the veterans, the families, and the friends, because the sacrifice, that they had is so great, and the commitment is very important, and to be able to give back to the veterans community is really a big part of it for me.
Any other comments or whatever with this visit with the wall?
I've really enjoyed the sense of community that I found here in Bennington. It's wonderful to see everybody working together to accomplish something like this, and the people have expressed such gratefulness to be able to experience the wall in their own community. A lot of these people won't ever have the opportunity to go to Washington. I think for many it's the beginning of a journey, and I'd like to urge anybody that has any thoughts about contacting families or trying to find veterans to do so, because we have found that it is very, very rewarding to both sides.
Good. For the tape, how do we get in touch with you?
We can be reached at the Friends of Vietnam Veterans Memorial, which is 2030 Clarendon Boulevard, number 412, and that's Arlington, Virginia, 22201. And our phone number is area code 703-525-1107.
Great. Well, thank you very much. Thanks for coming, too.
You're delegated to keep an eye on her.
And the biggest anxiety I have had to face is meeting these Gold Star parents. For it really truly does bring home our boys and our girls, our brothers and our sisters. But it is through their strength that I have been able to carry on. And I'm very proud to say, and very happy to have met these wonderful people. And at this time, I would like to lead to you an anonymous letter that was left at the wall here from a mother to her son. To my son, I went to the Moving Wall today in Bennington, Vermont, at the old soldiers' home. I couldn't look at your name carved in stone. I knew if I looked or touched, I'd have to give you up. I just can't do that yet. I have to keep you real close in my heart, so I won't fall apart. You are so dear to me. I love you so. I am so proud of you. You gave your all for God and your country. I know you wanted it that way. It's what you believed in. Stand tall for your country. I see so much of you in the other Vietnam veterans. I can't help but be proud to be your mother. These veterans will never let you boys be forgotten. They will keep you alive. For me, I'm not ready to say goodbye yet. I don't think I could ever add a word
that could mean so much to all of us. At this time, I would like my executive committee to present to the Gold Star parents flowers and corsages and boutonnieres that they will lay at the wall when we are done.
Where all the boxes go?
Back to San Jose. Right now everything is just stored in the warehouse, and eventually the plan is to build a museum where we can display everything.
Okay, and its catalog say all the Bennington material will stay together then?
Right. Yeah, it's marked on the box where it's from and when it was there. And
okay, and are you collecting everything that was left here?
everything except live plants and flowers.
And they stay here in Bennington, obviously.
Yeah.
They're not going to make the trip. Okay, and is there someone cataloging all this, either here or back in California?
Well, right now we don't open the boxes because we're not ready to start dealing with it, and we don't want to start spreading things out, you know, because to us everything is like a relic. You know, everything has a real intense meaning to whoever left it, you know.
Absolutely.
So it's, you know, it's all treated with respect, so nobody goes in and digs through it or anything. It's just sealed and...
Well, I know for one, I was surprised the amount of stuff left. Is this typical of wall visit?
Yeah, you know, typical is hard to say. It varies. You know, some places there's quite a bit, some places there's not so much. You know, it just varies. It's hard to say the reason or anything, but...
Always different.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you. Now, you're off to Indiana, right?
Right, Kokomo.
Leaving today?
Yeah, I have to be there Tuesday.
Tuesday to start again, huh? Usually the wall's 1 week in every place, but we were here for 2. Is that another exception?
Yeah, so far both communities in Vermont that have had it here and Rutland have been 2-week displays, which seems like a long time, you know, in one sense, but then in another, you look at how many people were here every day, and maybe it wasn't long enough, you know.
Yeah, I feel that way. We've been here almost every day filming, you know, different activities, and a very good turnout. And I think, you know, 2 weeks, I'm glad it was 2 weeks.
Yeah, that gives people a lot of people a chance to come back, you know, especially people that came from pretty good distances. I know a lot of them came back a second time, and it allows people to finally, you know, leave it in peace rather than that initial turmoil.
Absolutely, that first time. Well, great. Well, thanks a lot. We appreciate all your work.
For helping out here.
Thanks a lot.
Can you hear me? I was trying to hear you. Okay, coming up. Oh, I changed batteries.
Yeah, that's what
For the thin man. Just man when you're real. Greg, oh, I just untwined, didn't I?
There it goes.
Here we are, it's Sunday, September 11th, and the final day of the Moving Wall Vietnam Veterans Memorial here in Bennington. The wall's been packed up, crated up, the truck is on its way to the next stop in Indiana, and the Veterans Committee's here having a wrap-up party. And as the camera looks over the site where the wall was, it's as eerie now without the wall there as it was when it was set up. And that dark path that you're looking at is the pathway that was in front of the wall while it was here. And so from the grounds of the Vermont Veterans Home, a big thank you to all the vets and all the members of the community who worked so hard to make this the successful event it was. Thanks a lot for watching our program.
All the unsung heroes, faithful as the wind blows, the